Once upon a time, a heavy hoarfrost was a common occurrence here in the UK, but now they're quite a rare event, especially in the Midlands and the South. But that's what Sunrise reveals today, just that, a heavy hoarfrost, and the first one here in Northamptonshire for 2020. We're here at Summer Leys, and even the windows of the Rotary hide are frozen. As you can imagine, it's extremely cold, but also very, very beautiful. A kingfisher has recently been visiting the willows that skirt the water's edge, and someone has even put out a handy perch, but we live in hope. No kingfisher, but we do see Egyptian geese, shoveler, both male and female, and as the sun climbs higher behind the trees, the far shore is bathed in golden light, revealing this grey heron hunting along the shoreline. The closer shore is still in shadow, and we watch this great egret furtively making its way behind the reeds. Male gadwall busily feed in front of us, and I watch this male swan, or cob, bathe in the icy water. And then one of its offspring follows suit. The stunningly lit far shore affords much better views of a great egret as it fishes along the shoreline, and a male goldeneye dives for its diet of mussels, small fish, insect larvae and aquatic plants. Since we arrived here this morning, I've heard teal with their distinctive, delicate, whistling call, and now at last they come out into the open, and other birds on view are tufted duck, coot and pochard. As the sun rises higher, I decide to leave the Rotary hide and head straight for the Paul Britton hide, and every 20 yards or so along the path, robins sing, busily claiming and advertising their territories. I reach the Paul Britton hide, and looking out, there's not really much to see, and despite the bright sunshine, large areas of hoarfrost cling on, and the surrounding grass and foliage gleams in the sunlight. And the water has a frozen edge. The Paul Britton hide reveals only a few widgeon, so I decide to move on once again. I pass the butterfly conservation meadow, now devoid of any butterflies, and like on my last visit, this tree is a handy perch for little egret this time too, and just above them a grey heron. I head on down the path to the viewing screen. I reach the viewing screen, which also reveals very little bird life, but a closer inspection of the far shore reveals cormorant and what looks like black-headed gull. I want to visit the feeding station as a brambling is still being reported there, and thankfully the floods have now receded. It looks like a good mix of birds are visiting the station, including goldfinch, and blue tits hungrily feast on the protein and fat-rich peanuts, and great tit fly into the surrounding foliage before coming in to feed, and on the ground, feeding among reed bunting, is a stunning male bullfinch. And in the bushes, just above the feeders, another stunning male, its pink breast made more orange by the low winter sun. I watched several more of the males come to the feeders, some feeding on the tables, and some preferring to feed on seed that has fallen to the ground. It's been mostly males on view, but a female, with her drabber plumage, is feeding on the table. Well, the brambling didn't show, so I make my way along the path, back towards the pioneer hide, which is usually the second hide I visit, but by way of a change today, it'll be my last port of call. On entering the hide, I'm told that I've missed a green woodpecker that's been feeding for around about 20 minutes in front of the hide, so feeling a little disappointed, I watch these widgeon graze, and then a distant white head and yellow bill pop up above the reeds. It's another great egret, and yet more pochard, now bathed in full sunlight. And the first great crested grebe of the day, still in winter plumage. And as I've mentioned before, I think a very underrated bird, the moorhen. And then a raucous cackling call heralds the arrival of this brightly coloured bird, and I'm delighted to see that the green woodpecker has returned to feed just in front of the pioneer hide, perfectly lit by the bright winter sun. And this is the best footage I've ever shot of this beautiful bird. They are common, but they're very easily spooked, and you usually hear them first, and then see them disappear with that undulating flight. They spend a lot of time feeding on the ground, probing their beaks and long tongues into the earth in search of ants. And then I noticed just about 11 o'clock to where the green woodpecker is feeding. There's another bird, heavily camouflaged. It's a snipe, and close by, another. Snipe are notoriously difficult to see as they hunker down in the reeds, rarely coming out into the open. But for me, the bird of the day is this green woodpecker. So I'll leave you with a good long look at that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.